Welcome to the worst podcast on YouTube. I am Stephen J. Morris. I'm your host of Late Boomer Show, coming to you from the Catskill Mountains. So, this is our first show. Welcome. If there's anybody watching, welcome. And let me tell you our mission. Our mission is that there's a show for baby boomers who came from the 17%. I don't want to hear from baby boomers who thought Ronald Reagan was the greatest president in history. We're kicking you out of the baby boomer generation. Only the hippies, Black Panthers, and stuff like that, okay? And the acid rockers and the feminists. Just the cool boomers, not the Squaresville, not like Dennis Prager or something. Like a cool boomer like me, Stephen J. Morris. So now, we're going to give you a brief history of the hippie movement. It's 6 minutes. It's from David Hoffman. And thank you for letting us share this video. Okay, shall we start? Let's start. And away we go!
We know from watching these people and seeing what their activities are, and particularly their activities as far as narcotics are concerned, marijuana, LSD, these are making no contribution to their own lives, to the lives of the community of San Francisco, nor to society as a whole. And certainly nobody should let their young children come into San Francisco unsupervised to become a part of a group such as that.
We do not have an obligation to feed these people, to house them, or to care for them. If they are coming here, they better be prepared to take care of themselves with their own money to get proper room space to feed themselves.
Law and order.
Public funds will be used. We need it to take care of our city. No, we may be allowed.
Kids in the 60s were very much challenging their parents' values. There was very much a sense of we can drop out because we don't want what you have. We don't necessarily want the suburban house and the 2 cars and the sort of dad and mom and buddy and sis
anti-materialism
kind of existence.
Yay! Burn that money! Well, actually, billionaires do the same. Look at those funny people.
No, it was legal. People could smoke it and enjoy it, and everybody should have it all across the nation. So we decided to do it ourselves.
It looks like he's from
capitalism. Laissez-faire style.
Do you get high on it?
I get high on it, yeah.
I don't get high. I get loaded. Get it?
All the stores out in this area.
Now, here's these boomers.
And we see them in all shapes and sizes. I think this one is a girl walking in front of us. She has a hair ribbon, but it's hard to tell.
That's it. Come on out and have your picture taken. Come on, over here and smile for the camera. It's improving by the second.
Okay, let me interrupt for a while. This was a novelty. Americans, they called them flower children. They never called themselves anything. The beatnik movement went from 1949 all the way to 1966. Even Donovan called himself a beatnik. But they thought they were funny little kids dancing around with flowers, kissing everybody. And they thought it was cute, and they put it in the newspapers. And then all of a sudden, word came down from the front office and said, hey, do not give publicity to these kids. They say they don't want to work anymore. They want to drop out of society. turn on, tune in, and drop out. Isn't that what the Pied Piper Tim Leary said? No, we can't have that. I want you to start giving them negative news. And then came the thing about they never take baths, they're always on drugs, they got sexual diseases. It was not true. It was not true. So let's return to this bogus movie. Okay, here we go.
What's that moving on his blanket?
Hippie Hill, Hippie Hill, if you've got a lifetime
Sounds
to
like a
kill,
rabbi.
millions of moments by day and by dark, might as well spend them in Golden Gate Park. You don't have to be mentally ill to enjoy sitting perfectly still, feeling so placid while tripping on acid. It's happening on Hippie Hill.
It's better than
Marijuana is not addictive. Marijuana, according to medical authorities, is less harmful than tobacco.
This
I
guy
think
now
marijuana
is
should
a
be
Republican.
legalized.
The fellow that bought these paid $10 a piece for them. And say 2 or 3 months ago, they would have gone for $7.50.
And he can make about how many cigarettes out of that?
Out of a bag like that, maybe 60, 70 cigarettes.
Unfortunately, the
What?
hippie community now
What's
has
that to do
taken
with
up the
marijuana?
connotation of almost being a sanctuary for people who might experiment with drug use.
Well, I don't know.
Unfortunately, some of these individuals start out as
I don't know
psychotic
what I'm
cases or certain neurotic cases. They go to the area, and within by the 10th contact, do acquire some of the drug and experiment with it.
Whenever people get together and interact and
Here
take
comes the
drugs, it
liberal.
potentiates the toxicity of the drug experience. And you're going to see this summer a new concept of health problem that is a higher incidence of adverse drug reactions, and unless these situations are handled properly, you're going to see a great deal of violence coming out.
Also, a lot
Violence?
of the young
What is
people
he,
that came
Donald
here,
Trump?
philosophy was turn on, tune in, drop out. It was basically a healthy population that was experimenting with psychedelic drugs as part of a broader lifestyle. So in that sense, it was kind of a social laboratory, but unfortunately, it was a social laboratory that went wrong.
Is being sold on the streets as acid. Don't drop anything. We ask you not to drop anything. Anything that you find on the streets, take it to the clinic so we can find out what it is.
Had the grooviest psychedelic I've ever
Yeah,
had.
groovy.
Well, could you tell us about it?
Well, I couldn't describe it. It's something that you have to experience for yourself. I took it and went up in the woods and got very in tune with nature. What I heard about it was pretty nice stuff. It was supposed to be very beautiful.
I understand it can kill you, too.
Oh, I don't know. Possibility of getting killed walking across the street.
You mentioned and admitted on the stand that you've taken peyote and marijuana today.
Yes.
How does that affect your
And LSD,
consciousness?
too.
And LSD, all today. How does that affect your consciousness and your ability to cope with questions from the floor?
Well, as you seem to know, I appear like any other human being. You don't notice anything different.
The last third of the 20th century, traveling like a dream toward its end, it is the time to plant books.
San Francisco's flower children may not have invented street theater, but they certainly were accomplished practitioners of improbable improvisation during the Summer of Love. No one had more fun putting on the establishment than the Diggers, a combination commune, playful political group, and street troupe dedicated to the proposition that virtually all of society's values should be challenged and attacked. You simply can't understand the revolutionary nature of what was happening then without zeroing in on the Diggers.
We're not hurting anybody. We're not doing anything wrong.
Yes, you
We
are.
were just one big happy
You're
family.
not getting the rich white guys richer. How dare you not get them rich? It's your job to have babies and make the white men rich. The 1%.
We will all remember Haight Street and the hippie friends we knew, and the scene that was too beautiful to last. Yes, the scene was all too wondrous, and the folks were all too pure to survive the world's materialistic mass. Like bohemians and beatniks, we are doomed to fade away, sinking back into a monstrous middle class.
Drinking
Isn't that
warm
cute?
water before
Isn't
bed
that
shrinks a
cute?
swollen
Yeah.
prostate overnight.
And that's the way it was back then. It was, for a time, the perfect summer. It hit the plateau, it raised the consciousness, the Beatles released Sgt. Pepper, everybody was smiling at each other. I remember walking down Martel and this quote unquote flower child walked by me. She smiled at me, and that's when I started to get in touch with the counterculture. Now, let's hear a sample of the music of that time. Okay? Here we go. Walking down the street. That's Marcia Strausman. She was Mrs. Carter on Welcome Back, Bob. She passed away in 2014. We'll miss you. I remember hearing this song on my transistor radio. Didn't know what the hell it meant. And since... No, we don't. Okay, I don't want to get a strike. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I have to turn it off. Well, 67 was the plateau, but the establishment got an inter-office mail saying, no, we can't stop giving these people publicity. We got to portray them as negative as possible, because if all our white children start dropping out and taking drugs, who's gonna be in the front office? Who's gonna be doing the control, the office work, for lack of a better term? So they became hippies. Hippies is a slang term from black jazz players. It meant a hip white guy. So they called them hippies, because a lot of them had big hips. And because they're eating all that food, instead of being hip, they were eating. So they were hippies. And they were dirty. And they had venereal diseases. And they listened to loud music. And they were lazy. They don't want to work. And the negativity just kept going and going until 1968, from the summer of love to the year of hell, 1968. And that's it in a little thumbnail. Okay? Now, we're going to change the subject now. I want to talk about positivity. In this world, the only people who get press are evil, destructive people, because when it bleeds, it leads, as the news media likes. They're in love right now with this, the chuds, as we call them, but they're the religious right, the white nationalist, and the Christian nationalist. They're getting publicity like you wouldn't believe. But I'm going to portray a good person, and we're about to see a good person. If I could get this going, and this person I really admire.
Cole, he's my miracle
Da,
child.
da, 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 da. Oh God, why isn't this?
That girl doesn't have much chance of survival. Good thing there's a brave hero nearby.
Why isn't it going? Okay.
I'm here to cut your grass.
Now, why would you want to do that?
They said the backyard was a little rough.
Little is not the word for it.
What's up, beautiful people? My name's Al, and welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's video, I got a super special one for you guys, and I'm pretty sure that you don't want to miss it. So let me go ahead and tell you the story behind the yard that I got planned out for today. So I had someone reach out to me, and they told me that one of their neighbors is a little bit older, and his yard is in really bad shape. Every once in a while, they see him go out there for a few minutes at a time and try to cut it down, but he's not in a great health to take care of how bad and overgrown it's gotten. So that's what I'm gonna do in this video right here. I'm gonna knock on the door, surprise this gentleman. Hopefully he lets us cut the yard for him. I might not even give him the option. I'm just gonna knock on the door and say, hey, I'm here to cut your yard today. I've seen pictures of the yard, and the backyard is completely out of control. It's really tall. The problem is my big lawnmower won't fit through the gate, so I actually bought a new piece of equipment. Thanks to you guys. A lot of you guys gave me like super thanks since I got my weed eater taken, and I asked you what you guys wanted me to do with it, and a ton of you guys told me just go ahead and buy myself a new weed eater. I bought something better. I can't wait to show you guys. That machine is the real deal, so stay tuned for that. But there was a fence line that was a nightmare. Cutting down fence lines is one of my favorite things to do. It's so satisfying to watch. There was a ton of vines on the shed. While I was mowing, he kept coming out and helping me little by little. He said he could only work about 10 minutes at a time. I kept telling him, go inside, don't worry. But he just kept coming out and helping me. He actually gave me a gift while I was there. And another neighbor or one of the grandsons or someone, I'm not exactly sure who he was, but he ended up helping me clean up some of the stuff in the yard in the beginning of the video. So I don't want to talk too much. This is a really awesome video. I had great conversations with this guy. I hope you guys enjoy. It was pretty heartwarming. I really love that I get to help so many people out. But yeah, I just want to make this intro short and sweet. Now let's get to work. How's it going?
Okay, Al Blade. Now, Al Blades. Let me tell you something about this individual. He's a family man. He has a daughter. He has a wife. He works for a landscaping company. But on his route, he saw a lot of unkept lawns, and he realized these people couldn't afford a commercial gardener. So he decided to do it as a good deed for free. He'd go knock at somebody's door. Here, I'm here to take care of your landscape. I'm going to do it all free. Now, that's somebody to be admired. He spends sometimes he'll spend a whole day doing it. But he's determined. So he's doing altruistic work. And of course, it's positive egotism. What is positive egotism? When you do something good, you feel good about it. Then there's negative egotism. He could have set this whole house on fire and feel good about that. But he chose the higher consciousness. And we need more individuals like this in this country. People who like Matt Walsh or maybe Denise, what's her name? Candace Owens. We don't need people like that. All they do is spread hatred. And you know what? When they spread their hatred, they get paid for it. Isn't America a great country? You could get paid for attacking a political ideology. You couldn't do that in any other country. You think they do that in England? The government runs the media there. But here it's private. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. So I give tribute to Al Blades. You are one great human being. And I say, right on, dude. Now, I'm going to say a commentary. And it goes like this. I just celebrated my birthday yesterday. And what I tell you, I will tell you, what I don't need is problems like this thing I'm experiencing right now. I want to avoid problems because I don't know how much time I get. All my life I had problems, pressures, hurt, pain. But now, this latter, I'm in the autumn of my life. I want to explore spirituality. I want to explore natural beauty before I'm gone. So, what am I talking about? For many years, I was aware of current events and political activity. I started all this, my journey, my political journey in 1969, being a member of SDS. And I did. I was an activist. All the way up to, 1981. I was with Rock Against Racism. I started with SDS and I ended up with Rock Against Racism. For a little while, I was in SDS. And there was so many other groups. So then I started to concentrate on my poetry and my music. And now, here I am now. I think I'm at another crossroads. To the establishment, right-wingers are the lesser of two evils. The corporation, the corporate state, would rather have right-wingers and deal with them than have the leftists. They have no patience with the left. As far as they go, they could all die. They don't say that. They talk about free speech, but they don't really mean that. Corporations. So what am I leading up to? All our political discourse now is all on private property. Every platform, from Twitter to Twitch, I don't know, to YouTube, Facebook, it's all privately owned. They do not want somebody to come up there and say smash capitalism. They rather have somebody say kill all communists. And that's their preferred lesser of evil, two evils. There's a campaign now from the right wing is to file complaints against content creators, leftist content, and they want to wipe them out. David Pakman is the latest victim. Dusty Smith was one. And now I'm just starting, and they already took down one of my videos. Say it was hate speech. What it was a character I developed called Tim Witt. And he's a chud. I made him a chud. I even gave him a fake tattoo and made him look, he always goes like this and says, I'm masculine. I'll kick your ass. That's a character. It's not a real person. But no, somebody complained, say I was promoting hate speech. Now, if they would have said I was copywriting something and told me to take violating a copyright, I would have been more understanding. But my content, it was satire. And it's not fair. So I'm going to see how this show goes. If I get no views or anything, I'm going to take a hiatus for a while. I'm going to knock off politics for a while and concentrate on my music. But we'll see how this goes. Okay? I know I promised an hour, but I've run out of things to say. Okay, so everybody have a nice Saturday, and maybe my next video, I'm planning to do the best characters I made. I'm going to have different characters and put them in a compilation. Okay? Okay. I want to thank everybody who did watch this. Buddha bless you, and may Utopia smile upon you. Bye.